Seattle. 75 have been deployed to Seattle tonight, the other 120.
I am also taking swift and decisive action to protect our great capital, Washington, D.C. What happened in the city last night was a total disgrace. As we speak, I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers, military personnel, and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and the wanton destruction of property.
Hey there, everyone. This is your brother coming to you again. It's again beautiful, beautiful. I'm hoping that you're enjoying this journey with me on our way to the elections right here in November, these 2020 elections. And remember now, we're not just voting for the president on this one. We're voting for 1/3 of the Senate is up for election, 1/3, and then all of the House of Representatives, all of them are up for re-election. So this is not just a president thing. This is the government thing. This is it. And by the way, let me tell you how that works. If the president wins, but he doesn't have both parties also cooperating with him, it means that he has to struggle his way through in getting legislation done, or he has to create stopgap kind of legislation called executive orders to do what he wants to have done, but those executive orders are limited in time and scope. And so it can become a great battle, and sometimes we want that battle to occur, right? We want there to be a mixture of Democrat and Republican or whatsoever, because it helps legislation to go through the battle of passing, and certain things don't pass so quickly, because if you let certain things pass quickly without the correct kind of deliberation and thought, it could lead to some certain harmful consequences in our country. But when you do have the right executive branch and you have a thoughtful Congress, well, then now you can get things passed more efficiently, and they've already been thought out, and that's why you would vote for them. And a lot of good can happen in a very short period of time, So listen, I'm encouraging every one of you not just to consider voting for President Trump. Yeah, there's a bunch of seats that are open in the Congress right now. Anna Paulina over in Pinellas, who's fighting against Charlie Crist. She's battling. Anna Paulina Luna. Listen, that is, if you're living there in Pinellas and you're in that area where Charlie Crist is running, you make certain that you vote Anna Paulina Luna. This woman is a fighter, and she's going to represent us well on the federal level. It's a powerful, powerful young woman. And that's the kind that you want in there. But there's many others that are running in our area. And you're going to want to consider Miss Quinn. Miss Quinn is running. Listen, and she's in a big battle as well against her Democrat counterpart. Okay, yeah. So you're going to want to make certain that you're backing these people up and vote for these Republicans. Vote, because the party platform right now. Now, mind you, my whole family was, or some of them still are, Democrats. But these are not the same Democrats as the Democrats of my dad. These are not the same. These folks have lost their minds. You're talking about a Democrat Party now who's willing to kill a baby after it survived abortion, is now in the world. They're deliberating on whether to kill the baby after it's been born. And we're considering that, hey, this is normal. Folks, even to consider aborting the baby in the 3rd trimester, what in the world is that? That baby's a baby. So you're dealing with an extreme amount of evil. I think it's still evil, even the first 2 trimesters, but definitely the 3rd. And then after the baby's born, if it's still living, kill it. And we sit back and think that's reasonable? Folks, we better wake up. Listen, God is not going to show favor on a people who have that kind of mentality against its most vulnerable, the babies. Okay, we better wake up, all right? So listen, again, we're covering a bunch of topics, but it's not just topics. These are things that Trump has signed into law, or he signed executive orders to make certain that they are carried out, at least in the short run, until the Congress is able to address it. Okay? The president is doing so much for our race. So what you're hearing on CNN, you need to turn that stuff off. You're dealing with networks that are directly opposed to truth. Forget to the president, or they're opposed to truth. They're pouring out pure lies, and they feed us it day after day. Yeah, Trump was dealing with the Russians, and then when it's proven wrong, they just move on to the next. But you allow them to. When you're a Democrat that allows them, they just move on to the next thing. Wait a minute. Y'all told us that he was actually in bed with these Russians, and then all of a sudden you're proven wrong, and y'all just want to move to the next point. You want to impeach on the basis of obstruction of justice. And then when it was found that the obstruction of justice didn't occur, y'all just want to move on? And then they just keep telling us one thing after another that falls apart because they have no facts behind it. They're just lying. And we allow them to get away with it. Let's wake up, people. I love you and I respect your thoughtfulness. You need to go ahead and consider what you're doing and how you're voting, and give some proper thought into these things, okay? Hey, listen, I got some other things. These are some other things that Trump is doing right now in order to help our people. How about this one? Trump issued an executive order prohibiting the United States government from discriminating against Christians or punishing expressions of faith. He had to sign an executive order. Listen to me, my family. Listen to me. He had to sign an executive order because Democrats, both on the federal, state, and local level, are passing laws that directly discriminate against Christians, directly discriminate against the church. By the way, the closing down of the economy has caused many churches to have to close their doors in the black community. At a time that we need moral leaders, the closing down of commerce and the closing down of the churches in those areas, because they don't consider us essential, don't you know, in these blue states, yes, primarily blue states, Democrat states, California and all the Democrat states and the Democrat-run cities. These folks have put such a clamp down on churches gathering that the church is closed down. Now, you might say, oh, that's just accidental. It's just incidental to a virus. Folks, you need to rethink. This stuff is planned. They are against your local church. They're against the expression of your faith. How in the world are they going to allow you to shop at a Walmart where everybody's jumbled up together and they allow a whole bunch of other things? But they will not, and they riots and everything else, but they're not going to permit the church to gather. No, those are Democrats. Don't say them. No. See, you like doing that when it's your party. You know, it's them. No. The Democrats. These are the people that claim to be on your side while your churches fold right in our community when we need them the most. There are various other discriminatory practices against Christians from the federal level, and you might want to reconsider. How about this one? The president signed an executive order that allows the government to withhold money from college campuses deemed to be anti-Semitic and who failed to combat anti-Semitism. This speaking against the Jews. This speaking against the Judeo-Christian value system altogether is happening on college campi across the country, most of which run by Democrats, most of which have staffing and administrations within those colleges that are straightforward, radicalized Democrats. And they're coming after your faith, and they're attacking your students. Listen, we need our children to be groomed in good moral capacity, because we need those kind of citizens when they are attacking the Christian worldview and Judeo-Christian values, and they're anti-Semites altogether. You got to know that it's going to have a very bad impact on our students, black students, brown students, and white students. It's going to really frame a state of mind that's going to be unhealthy for our development. They're coming right at the church, and you're letting it happen. Those of you who are Christians that are listening to this, black Christian Democrats, you better listen. These folks are fighting the very establishment that you're hoping to bring, that healing comes through, that God uses the church to bring about a good general awakening. But they're being educated in a way that is so bad. And then many of our black pastors have been educated in those kind of settings, or educated by people who were educated by them, so that even the black pastors are operating against the interests of our people. When you have pastors that are animated against Trump and they don't even know what Trump stands for, they haven't done any of the studies that I just mentioned to you. but they're going to echo what they're hearing on TV and everything else, and they're doing a disservice to our race. And pastors, I'm talking to you, shame on you. If you don't have enough respect for truth to go and pursue it, shame on you. And you shouldn't be on that pulpit. And by the way, I pastored for 18 years. I know there's a price to pay for speaking the truth. And shame on you if you're not willing to take a stand and speak the truth for the sake of people everywhere, and especially your own congregants. You need to go ahead and wake up. Time is running short, and you're going to be given an account for what you've done and what you've said. Now you better wake up now. At least do your studies. How about do that? And not give in to the media, not give in to this nonsense that's coming out from there. At least do your own studies. Just go ahead and check on things. Check on policy and not the opinion. I tell you what, don't even listen to the opinion of some other educated black who claims to be saying something about, no. Go to the policies. It's easy enough to understand the policies. Those are the laws that have actually been enacted by this president. The laws, the policies, not the opinions, the policies, the laws, okay? All right. That has nothing to do with his personality. All right. So listen, if you're interested in protecting the faith, if you're looking at defending the faith, you better open up your eyes. As a matter of fact, a lot of their battle against the private school, against the school choice program, is that Christian schools are able to open using that school choice program. That is, your children can actually be taught Christian morals and Judeo-Christian ethic outside of the controls and the claws of the public schools and their authorities. And they can't stand it. You have the NAACP and things like that having lawsuits against the state. Why? Why would you sue against school choice? And you're definitely not doing it for our children, because the outcome of the children who go through the school choice program, the outcomes are showing great improvements among our students that are in the school choice program, that are in these private schools. Our kids are doing better in those settings. The proof is in the pudding. And yet, our very own black organizations are fighting against the advancement, the improvements. Sad. Wake up. Wake up. All right. These are coming from the president. And how about this one? We're going to go and switch to this one. We're going to talk a little bit about abortions. President Trump ordered a halt to U.S. tax money going to international organizations that fund or perform abortions. Huge. By the way, I'm not quite certain if you know this or not, but anywhere between 62 and 70% of all abortion clinics are in black or brown communities. And did you know that? No, they're not spread out in those white communities. These abortion clinics are in the black communities. All right? They are looking, listen, y'all, we are so over represented in the abortions that it's remarkable. It's just remarkable. Our females make up about 13% of the population of females, but we comprise 40 to 50% of the abortions. Our babies are being killed by the hundreds of thousands. We are into the millions. At one time, we were the number one minority group in the country. We have now been surpassed by the Hispanics, which is, But part of the reason why they've surpassed us is because our babies have been killed by the millions. And we have the opportunity to stop it. They have on purpose put those Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics right there in our community, right there in the black community. You're talking about systematically wiping out a race. You're going to be upset because there were 14 people last year in the black community that were shot who were unarmed, and these folks are killing your babies by the hundreds of thousands. But they're going to divert your attention away from that to the 14 that were killed by some bad cops. And you're allowing your emotions to go in the direction of a small itsy-bitsy number, which is going to be natural because humans, you're going to find some bad apples the nation has 350 million people, and you're going to talk about enough but you're not going to worry about the hundreds of thousands that are slaughtered. And you better wake up, everybody. You better wake up. But the president has made certain that we're not going to be spending money No, we're already having to spend it here until legislation comes to stop it. But we're definitely not wanting to spend money globally to make certain that babies are wiped out. Folks, the president is doing an amazing job. An amazing job. Wow. Wow. There's another thing that he's doing to protect life. Trump imposed sanctions on the socialists in Venezuela who have killed their citizens. And you might say, now what in the world does that have to do with us? Folks, as socialism grows, it means the loss of life. And it has to be exposed for what it is. Its impact on the economy, its impact on social relations, its impact on international relations, the weakening of the infrastructure of a country. These things are all very, very real, and they always follow socialist policies when they are enacted. The president is wanting to discourage that. You might say, that still doesn't impact us. Sure it does. Because if we can allow the natural consequences of socialism to play out without our support, then our people are going to be able to see what happens when socialism is given a right of way. We're going to end up saving ourselves from a socialist system, and we're going to know the value of the country that we live in. Folks, I love you, and I'm hoping that you're thoughtful and reflective. I'm hoping that you're listening to what I'm saying. I'm hoping that you're critical of what I'm saying, but at least give it some thought. But again, I'm not giving you opinions and ideas like that. I'm giving you things, policies and laws that have been enacted by our president, who's running for office to be re-elected on November 3rd. Vote for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump. And there's a growing group of blacks who are voting for Trump. And there are Spanish voices for Trump because we know what's going on. And I pray that you join the group. I pray that you join the Patriots because we need you. Hey, share this with somebody, my friends. Hey, I need you to do it. Share it with as many people as you know. We're not done. I'm going to continue to run the list of things he's done. Not promises made, not a bunch of opinions. No. These are things that the president has done. God bless you all.
I am also taking swift and decisive action to protect our great capital, Washington, D.C. What happened in the city last night was a total disgrace. As we speak, I am dispatching thousands and thousands of heavily armed soldiers, military personnel, and law enforcement officers to stop the rioting, looting, vandalism, assaults, and the wanton destruction of property.